Hello. I thought I'd say hello, see what my voice sounded like, because, yeah, I'm still very, very sick. Uh, but this is the first time where I haven't had the thumping head thing going on, so it's the first time I got actually made coffee in, oh, 3, 4 days. Because, I didn't want to be awake, so why would I want to drink coffee? But, I don't have a scale or a thermometer. I had a scale, but I gave it away because I give most things away. I don't. I'm weird like that. Um, my thermometer is broke. The one I ordered because it's around the holidays. Everything takes longer to get here, so it's not here. So I don't feel feverish right now. I feel just a little headachy instead of like pounding headachy. And I got a weird thing going on with my ankle. I don't know when or what I did to my ankle to piss it off, but my ankle don't like me no more. So you can fuck yourself, ankle. And I can't even reach my ankle to punch it, but it pisses me off that it hurts for no reason. Maybe because my bed's too short. They make beds like mm, ridiculously short. It's like don't people like slide around in bed? Sorry about that. Put my face up that close. But don't everybody's like slide around in bed like, so if you're tall, your feet always end up hanging over the bed. So I used to put a box like back here that was like a square. It was cut from a guitar box, but it used to be like a spacer between the mattress, the mattress, and the headboard, so it would make my bed longer. But when the bed bug crisis hit, I just threw that out the window, literally out that window. It's still out there in the neighbor's yard, which, I'm a worker, believe it or not. You only see me like laying in bed, but that's my nature. Is I was the guy that would lay down the salt around here, shovel stuff, do the garbage. You know, I don't know. I guess when you get all racked up and you have to learn how to walk and stuff, you appreciate that kind of stuff. But I always liked physical labor. I liked certain types of physical labor before I got when I was a kid, even because my dad was like always go out and do this, and we like to do our lay down our own gravel. And yeah, I got a story. How about that? A story come to mind. Um, I got paid $10 for this job, man. I don't remember what year it was, but sometime in the early '90s, I think. But I helped my dad shovel gravel. The hell was that guy's name? I don't. It would help if I remember the names and the details. I'm a little sinusy. But so, anyways, we were told that this guy needed a load of gravel shoveled for his driveway or something. Anyway, like that. Anyway, it was like that. And my dad goes in the house and he comes out and his eyes are like dinner plates. He's like, I just saw the most money I ever saw in my life. He said, I never even saw that much money in a bank. And it's like, and I thought to myself, of course they're not gonna like have stacks of money up in a bank or whatever. But they had an illegal poker game going on in there, and the guy that paid us to do the gravel had a scheduling brain fart. So he had us out there shoveling gravel while he's got uh, there's thousands of dollars on the table in this illegal poker game. But he was like, let's just shovel this shit and get the hell out of here. Yeah, but I used to love doing stuff like that if it was physical labor. Like I started lifting weights, man. Yeah, it was like hell for me to get anything, and I wasn't about to ask for anything when I was a kid. But one of the things I asked for was a weight set, and my dad was not real into building up your self-esteem or whatever. So I started out with my weight set, and I started to notice some gains when I was 15, and I think I hit puberty pretty late, but man, as soon as I had any testosterone to work with, um, I started lifting weights, and he was like, "Man, I seem bigger." I said, "Look at that." Held up my arm, and he was like, "Yeah, I seen bigger muscles on a mosquito or something like that." He was that kind of guy. He just would make jokes at your expense. You know, I'm trying to think of nice things he said to me, and or ways that he built up my self-esteem. Hmm. But I wanted to make this a short video, so I'll have to think about it for a couple of days before I can come up with anything. No, he didn't really do that kind of thing. And then my mom would try to make up for it, but I never would believe the things that she would say, you know, for whatever reason. Because she didn't have the power in the household. Um, I think that's why. I don't know. I think like a lot of her comment, she would always like try to compensate for my dad's harshness. And so I was like, nah, I don't believe you. It wasn't that she was lying. It's just, she wasn't a liar. She was very like religious. My parents were very, very serious people. It's like I got made fun of in school. I was thinking about this last night because what else do you have to do when you're laying in bed sick? But I remember when I said pardon in school and the other kids would make fun of me for having these old-fashioned manners and stuff. But that's just the kind of house that I grew up into. If you didn't understand somebody, you said pardon me or excuse me, and they thought it was hilarious. The other kids thought it was hilarious that I had these old-fashioned manners and stuff. But my parents were everything was very serious. What if that had something to do with my brother's suicide or what? I don't know. Maybe that caused my brother's suicide. I don't know, but everything was like deadly serious. Oh, coffee, how I missed you. Ode to coffee. But no, I was also thinking, why you can't hear me, why I got my face pointed away from the microphone. I was also thinking, like, um, I used to be clever and witty and smart. Used to torture people with my ability to recall, with my facial recognition ability and my ability to recall facts, dates, events, and stuff. And I got tested, like I said, by some educator, and she just was freaked out. She's like, you're like the highest person I ever tested in abstract reasoning. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to get me a lot of jobs. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I just thought it was funny. It's like, so when do I decide um, to be a so-called YouTube personality? Oh, I don't know. When I lose all my teeth, and when I'm past my prime, when I'm plunged into benzo withdrawal, and when my brain is as thick as pea soup, and like when I can't think of things like that anymore, and you know, I think I've always had to have a sense of humor about things because, like, I started early with the um, not taking life too seriously thing. Like my parents took life like very seriously, but then once you face, it's sort of like once you face death and you face death, and you know, and then you get like you better develop a sense of humor. You get like CRPS and somebody on here. I'll give them a mention. I don't remember their name because I don't know. Not smart anymore. Um, EDS is what I called it because I couldn't think of what it was, but I never heard of it, and I looked it up. So I was like, learn something. They're like, you might have this, and I'm like, no, don't really have that. Um, I read all the symptoms to it, and I read all about the disease and stuff. So I still like learning stuff, you know. And so somebody taught me something that I don't think they ever posted on one of my videos before. Very few people do, you know, because very few people watch them. Because why would they? You know, just because of the exciting background, you know. Yeah, just another. I'm just another cautionary tale. I figure like the appeal that I have must be a combination of honesty and oh my God, what's going to happen to this poor fucker next? I think, you know, 'cause I'm pretty honest about almost everything. You can't be honest about everything. You can't do that on the internet. You know, you just can't. Other, I often wonder, like I said, I don't. I got a hint that maybe one of my family members was watching my videos, and I haven't heard from him for. We keep in contact pretty close too. This is one of the family members I'm closest to. I haven't heard from him like in 2 weeks, and like shortly before then, like uh, her brother contacted me because he said I watched that one video. I'm like, what? It never occurred to me that my family would be watching these videos on here. And as a matter of fact, like I made that plumber cam, or if I ever wanted to see a video that I made on here, I put it on a separate account, you know, to discourage them from watching this because it doesn't it's truthful, but it doesn't cast them in the best light in the world, you know. Um, but yeah, I made something that was really harsh that I just kind of like shit canned before I did the last long video that I did, and I thought about some of the things I said in there. Yeah, yeah, it's the truth, but the truth isn't always useful. And yeah, it's been a tough couple of days. I have like a window here where I feel like a human being. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I got the window open, which is cool because it's warm enough here somehow. On what is it, December 9th, year of our Lord 2019. So I got the window open. I do have the heater on to heat up my coffee, but that's the first fresh air I got to breathe in a while because it's raining. It's usually snowing around this time of year, not raining. And yeah, so I figured I'd say hello and let you know I'm still alive. And yeah, I don't know if that guy was a mobster we were shoveling gravel for or what, but he was a weird dude. We did some other work for him. You see, his brother was this guy named Jack. I think his name was Mo, and I don't know what it was short for. And his brother was named Jack. And my Jack, oh boy, I'm on the Jack. Jack told my dad a very harsh truth at a very bad time. This is after my dad was having heart attacks. I think he already had his heart attack. I don't think yeah, he didn't have no stroke yet or anything, but he already had a heart attack. So naturally, we're doing the hardest job imaginable. I'm like in my 20s. and we're mixing concrete by hand. Um, uh, how would you describe that? See, this is where I should have my old brain and why I say that I'm giving you such an inferior product. Uh, you take cement, you put it in a big box, you take a bunch of gravel in there. You got to mix it all up with a hoe by hand, and you're carrying like 80-pound or 100-pound cement bags. I forget how much they weigh. And back then, I could sling them motherfuckers over my shoulder and carry them and walk. Show you how long ago that was. But I was in my 20s, and I remember I was going to work with my dad, and we had this job. And there was this loudmouth guy. He had a gambling addiction, but he was gambling on. He was betting on the wrong horse that day because he was like, he was like fucking with my dad all day. And then, he was. It was either my first or second day on the job, and it was like everything was under the table. We were making the concrete legs to park benches. He had some kind of contract with the city. Well, that was our job. That's why we were mixing the cement with the little gravel pieces. You know how those benches are. So anyway, he's fucking with my dad all day. And then he's telling me how to do stuff, and then I'm catching on real quick. And he goes, oh, hey Pete, your boy is pretty quick. It's too bad you never taught him anything. My dad just blows up, and he grabs him by one arm. He almost lifts him off the ground by one arm and shakes him. And he's literally, I'm not making this shit up. He's got one toe on the ground because this is a shorter guy. And he's barely bouncing on one foot, and he's shaking him like this. He's looking at him. He said, I told you to quit fucking with me. Didn't I tell you to quit fucking with me, Jack? Now shut the fuck up. And his face is like beet red. I thought, two things are going to happen here. He's going to rip his arm off and beat him to death with it, or uh, he's going to have a stroke or a heart attack. This might have been before his first heart attack. It might have been a warning sign, as a matter of fact. But he was like, okay, Pete, okay, Pete, okay. Okay, Pete, okay. Like that. But I'll never forget that, you know, he just was ragged on, but the dude was like, had one foot off the ground and had one toe on the ground. He was like, his face was like fucking red, and he had his murder face on and shit. I was like, oh my God. Everybody else was real quiet too. They didn't say much about it. They pretended like it never happened. And we finished working the day out. But I can't remember what years that was, or what years my dad had his heart attack. But he might have been excuse me. He might have already been on the road to a heart attack at that point. But yeah, it's just one of them things I forgot. Uh, we did several jobs for that Jack guy because he had to hustle because he was a gambling addict. So like he would come up with these jobs. My dad was out of work. I think that's before he got his job at the Maslin Y. But he was like, what other job? We had like roofing jobs, and we had those concrete bench jobs. Those were good. Those paid good money. I made good money doing those. The roofing jobs were good, but I didn't belong on a roof because, I had CRPS, and I had like the same situation I have with my legs now, as far as like um, a problem with the left one. But I remember being on the ladder, and he was up on the roof, and it was like a 3-story building, and I was climbing the ladder, and he was like, what the hell are you going to do? Sit on that ladder all day? Or are you going to get up here and help me work? And I was like, okay. But I froze on the ladder, man. I was like, I should not be up here. And that was the last roof I did, because it was 3 stories, and the roof itself was flat. I don't think I could have done any angled roof work like I had done in the past. Like I said, I used to be like a billy goat before I grew that spinal tumor. I mean, I would walk across the gable, the peaked gable. I would like dance across the top of that thing just to fuck with my dad. I was very agile, athletic sort. That must be my niece replying to me. But anyways, hope that wasn't too loud. But I'm just tired of having nothing but memories and nothing but a bitter future ahead of me. I just had this window where, like, kind of like I said, I kind of feel vaguely human, and I feel like I could talk. So I thought I'd give it a try. Um, I I won't say the worst of it's over. I mean, I woke up yesterday feeling like straight up death, like you know, just horrible. Like, can I pee in here somehow? Can I go over and pee in the corner? Like, just awful. And then today, I get to drink coffee and get to have the window open. So, whatever. It's that heater misbehaving itself. I don't know. These heaters are cool, man. Polonius makes them, but they don't add anything onto your electric bill. Like I said, I use mine all the time. My electric bills were for the last 2 months were 20 bucks. For, $20 for a whole month for electricity. And I'm running a heater all the time, So if you ever need to get you a space heater, get one that looks like a radiator and that is oil filled. Mine happens to be Polonius. I got another version of a space heater that seems to take more. I don't know if it takes more or not, but this one takes nothing to run. And it's very effective. It just makes weird, annoying noises sometimes. But, anyways, I thought I'd wish you a good week and say hello and let you know I'm still alive. Um, yeah, rough weekend. Whew. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. Wondering about my toes. I haven't checked on my toes in a while. See how they're doing. And I got to call like the agency where the old ladies come over to help me clean house and stuff. Who probably gave me the fucking whatever's plaguing me in the first place. I either caught it there or the dentist's office, or I don't go anywhere. So I either caught it from them, caught it from the dentist's office, or I caught it from going into that apartment complex. That's the only places I go. I don't get to go anywhere or do anything. So, they go around to other people's houses and then they come to your house. So who knows where I got this, which I think is going to plague me for a while yet. This is the most human I've felt, so I thought I'd say hello. Share a few weird stories with you. The funny part about like my agility when I was young, it's like it did not apply to living wooden structures that grew leaves because I was famous for falling out of trees. But I could dance on a roof, man. Like, I never seen Fiddler on the roof. I guess the motherfucker was playing instruments and shit up there. I could probably done that. But yeah, I mean, roofing was nothing to me when I was young. I did a few roofs before I had my surgeries and stuff. And then I tried to do some in my 20s and realized that it was no longer my thing. I did freeze on the ladder, and my dad yelled at me, and then I was like, okay, let's get up there. It's a flat roof. But I was like, I just had that, I don't belong up here. I never was afraid of heights. It's the falling thing that bothered me. And I realized, my legs don't work the same as they did before. Like, what the hell am I doing up here? A three-story fall is nothing to joke about. Kill you. But it was a flat roof, so. Um, so anyways, that's a short hello, and then, I don't have nobody to talk to, so I'll be talking at you down the road. See if I can remember any other strange things from my past to share. And I wish I had something in the future that was interesting. It is nice today because today I got a problem now with paying the landlord the rent because I'm like way late on the rent. Because I told him he's supposed to install her bathtub today, but we made an arrangement where he canceled it and he said he might not be able to do it until next year because they put a silicone sealant up there on her bathtub that appears to be holding, but he said it's a temporary fix. And I'm sure that made her real happy. But her dog doesn't make me too happy, so fuck it. I don't know how Roy over there on the first floor is handling that dog since, you don't like a lot of noise. But I can hear the dog over the fan. Fan costs me money to run. This heater might not, but that fan to try to block out that noise, that yapping. And I figured the dog to be, he'll probably top out at between 60 and 70 pounds if it's Shar-Pei and Pitbull. Big enough to kill you and loud enough to make a bunch of noise and some good piles of shit. Which I actually, when my caseworker came, I sat on the porch specifically to tell him watch out for shit. Because they got 3 dogs over there, we got 1 dog over there, and there's not a whole lot of not a whole lot of baggies and shovels and stuff being used. So my brother, you might find this interesting, you might not find this interesting, but he's the one with the genius dog. He actually taught his dog to poop on the bag, so he don't, and people are fascinated by that. He's like, how is that possible? My brother is expert. My brother can train a cat, literally. Who the hell can train a cat to do anything? But I've seen it. He's an expert animal trainer, but he trained his dog. He lays down the bag, and the dog knows the shit on the bag, and then he just wraps that bag up. Never has to touch anything, and puts it in another bag. But since they passed that law, it's like, why would you want to have a dog just be walking around, with a bag of shit? He's like, it's really hard, because he'll walk by. He's younger than me, but he'll walk by like an attractive woman. It's like, it's really hard to act cool carrying a bag of shit. It's really hard to be charming carrying a bag of shit. Everybody knows the deal, though. And there's just so many people out there that are scofflaws when it comes to that. And just leave piles, leave landmines for people to step in. That actually got a person thrown out of here, is they had a little tiny dog, right? And I don't know how this shit got on the door. Oh yeah, I remember how this shit got on the door. It's like the dog shit, that was wrong though. But there's like an invisible property line before these other people moved in that have 3 dogs. There was a lady there. She took exception to this dog shitting across what she thought was the property line. So she picked it up, and this is on Easter, and threw it on our porch and ricocheted off the door. So I come home from Easter dinner. This is back when I was cool with the family and stuff. And there's a shit mark on the door and a pile of shit, like right in front of the door. I'm like, the first thing I have to do on Easter is clean all this up. And I'm like, what the fuck happened there? And then I realized, I think she did it a couple of times. I talked to somebody else. She ended up moving. And, shit, that had a tie into something else, but I don't remember what it was. But, these people over here are hit and miss now. Um, but I'm on good terms with them otherwise. So, but like they're hit and miss about cleaning up after. You got a dog. Dogs, generally speaking, are very regular, and they go more than once a day. So if you do the math, that's 6 piles a day if you got like 3 dogs minimum, and it, it makes for it's just nasty. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. The day that I threw somebody out is was the fighting and fucking couple, because like I said, it's hard to tell which they were louder at, because they would have blowout fights that would go through the whole apartment, but then they would also, it sounded like somebody was being killed up there when they were fucking. And so um, one day, they were the people that had the dog where the lady threw the crap. Okay, I don't remember. So I have softball cleats to keep my feet from slipping out of the pedals. I just bought softball cleats. You don't want to step in dog shit with softball cleats, trust me. So one day I'm sitting there and I've got like a toothbrush and I'm at the sink in the bathroom trying to scrub dog shit out of softball cleats, like they're like cleats about that big. And I hear them fighting really loud up like they always do. And I'm like, that's it. To them, and then I got rid of them because I got rid of a lot of people out here, but I got rid of them. And that was the 250-pound guy where I gave him like a grace period, which I'm sure my landlord didn't took the credit for. But he asked me, he's like, I can get rid of him now, if but he asked me if I would wait until his kid was out of school. It's only like a month and a half of school left, and he doesn't want to transfer him to another school, and wants to wait until the summer to move. And I'm like, okay. So it was another month. Me being a nice guy, it was another month of a bunch of fucking and fighting. And I remember he did that thing where it was like the Chris Rock bit where he's like, I take care of my kids. And in my head, I did the Chris Rock line. You're supposed to, you dumb motherfucker. You had them, didn't you? He was like wanting credit for that. So I said something. He was talking to me about his kids that he had with somebody else. And, you know, and I'm like, do they stay with so and so? Or I asked questions and tried to be polite, like I gave a damn. And he thought I was implying that he wasn't taking care of them. And he was like, I take care of my kids. And I was like, Chris Rock line from his famous Bigger and Blacker album. And anyways, but I got him thrown out. And then, I had like a 250-pound racist guy in the building. Because he was the guy who was like, I got a white girlfriend. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not legally blind. I said that to him, word for word. I said, yeah, no, I'm not legally blind. What the fuck would you even bring that up to me? I don't care. As long as I don't have to put up with the crazy bitch. What do I care? It was just all part of the madness of living here. You know, it's like so. I had this big angry guy. You know, and he knows that I was the guy that got him thrown out of here. But I think Gerald, being Gerald, took the credit for giving him that grace period. So he didn't have nothing to say to me. And I was like avoiding him because I didn't want no confrontations with that dude. And, he outweighed me by me. He's almost twice as big as me, man. Fuck that. But yeah, I had to, it's just more nonsense. Because he's such a liar as far as like, telling. He's like, I just like to keep everybody's business separate. I was like, no, you just like to lie your ass off about every damn thing. And you don't remember anything that anybody tells you. But yeah, I saw some adult cockroaches over the weekend, so I gotta figure out how to get that, take it back to the nest, poison out that tube, because it's like super glue. It like clogged, the end of it's clogged up. But I got at least one more dose of that. Um, but yeah, if I can feel alive, I'm starting to lose my voice, but if I can feel alive like today, get these small improvements, be nice, call that Brent guy, just tell him like, look, dude, I got sick, and I should make contact with him this week and maintain a relationship with the dude. Um, I'm talking about did I say his name? Fucking moron. I guess it doesn't matter. Didn't say nothing but nice things about him. But yeah, that shows you how sick I am. That my caseworker did. Uh, ugh, dummy. Anyways, it's probably like 23 minutes already knowing me. My sinuses are turning me into Elizabeth Montgomery from Bewitched. I was always more of a Elizabeth Montgomery person than a Barbara Eden. If when I was a kid, like those were the shows that were on TV. I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched, and it was hands down Elizabeth Montgomery for me. I don't care that you could almost see Barbara Eden's evil, sin-inducing belly button or whatever it was that caused the controversy. I think she was the first person on TV to show any of the midriff for a while. One thing I liked about that show was the theme song, or the beginning of it with the bottle on the beach. But that's probably before a lot of y'all's time, unless they still have Nick at Night. But who knows what audience I have? I don't know. They all seem to be anywhere from 35 to 65, somewhere in there. And now my ear is itching and I don't want to do it on camera, so I just want to let you know that I'm feeling a little better, at least for this brief moment in time. Though I do not feel like getting up and dancing an Irish jig or anything. That ear needs itched really bad and I don't want to do it on camera, so I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.